Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 6 of the NFL season. We're here with my good friend Alex Shane to talk about the New England Patriots on Sunday Night Football hosting the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs. But before we get into what's happened thus far on a very busy and kind of a upsetting Sunday of football, Alec, how you doing?
I'm all right, buddy. I feel like we keep having these conversations in prime time repeatedly. It's been a while since we had like a nice, relaxing 12:30 p.m. pre all the games Sunday conversation. The week is mostly in the books already, and the Patriots have a big game against the Chiefs as the Sox are playing in the ALCS right now. So it's a big day for Boston sports all around.
Yeah, is it a big day though, or is it just business as usual for us extraordinarily spoiled fans in Boston?
I mean, it has been several months since a championship parade has taken place in the city of Boston. So we have to end that drought as soon as possible. Hopefully as soon as October, if not October, definitely this February. But yeah, I mean, it's bad, man. We are just so spoiled here in Boston that we have like two massive citywide sports events happening at the same time. And a big problem a lot of people have right now is which awesome game to watch.
Yeah, and we have a lot to break down with the Patriots and the Chiefs because this is an incredible game. The Chiefs are undefeated. They play the Patriots well every single regular season that they square off. Andy Reid has a really good kind of way to approach the Patriots defense. And we saw that Doug Peterman and the Philadelphia Eagles leverage that to their advantage in the Super Bowl. So Patriots have to be ready. But before we get to this game, let's look around the league because, as you said, most of the games are already in the books, and not too many of them went in the favor of the Patriots, according to my rooting guide from this morning, where we had so many possibilities for the Patriots to come out, distance themselves from the rest of the division and even in the rest of the conference. Didn't happen to turn out that way. Let's look at the AFC East first, where the New York Jets, they crushed the Indianapolis Colts 42-34. It wasn't that close at the end of the day. Jets kind of had that pretty comfortable. Did you catch anything from this game? Like, do you have any key takeaways from that? Like, are the Jets good? They're 3-3 right now. Are they good?
I mean, the Jets aren't bad. I'll tell you that much. I think they're having a better season than a lot of us, myself included, expected them to have. But if you watch the Colts, especially the past couple weeks against the Patriots and now against the Jets, Andrew Luck is throwing the ball really well. He's very accurate. His receivers cannot hang on to the football to save their lives. It is bouncing off their hands. It's bouncing off their face masks. He had his first two passes were dropped, one of which was a pick six. There were a lot of turnovers. So while, yes, the Jets deserved to win, they capitalized on opportunities. Not all victories are created equal. And I feel like the Colts did more to lose this game than the Jets did to win it.
Yeah, and that's really tough to see. I can see why Josh McDaniels decided not to go to Indianapolis, just because this team just does not have any depth. I'm sure he would have had a little bit more of a say in how the roster would be built. But my goodness, this team, I know they've suffered a lot of injuries, but the Colts they have no excuse for coming out and just looking so terrible week in, week out, not providing Andrew Luck with any talent whatsoever. And there is also those concerns that Andrew Luck had 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I feel like that's just a very quintessential Andrew Luck sort of stat line where, makes just as many mistakes as he makes great plays. Really tough to watch with that one, but Jets move on 3-3. So if the Patriots lose, they're tied with the same record, which is pretty unexpected 6 weeks through the season. Also unexpected, Miami Dolphins moved on to 4-2. They came back from behind to beat the Chicago Bears in overtime, 31-28. Brock Osweiler was their quarterback, coming back from the dead. Not sure what is going on down there. Albert Wilson had a 75-yard touchdown to kind of just tie it up late. They win it in overtime. What's going on with this Dolphins team?
Yeah, I don't know how much of that game you saw, Rich, but that was a battle of who could give the game away latest. And the Dolphins fumbled at the goal line in overtime. They could have won that. The Bears gave up some inexplicable big plays. It was just one of those games where nothing really made sense. I never thought Brock Osweiler would take out Mitchell Trubisky. Maybe the quarterback controversy is alive and well now down in Miami. Preemptive congratulations to the massive contract Brock's going to get in the offseason because he started and won a football game as a quarterback, and it's all you have to do in the NFL to get a massive contract. So enjoy playing for the Buffalo Bills or the Eagles or wherever the hell he decides to go next year. But it kind of sucks because this would have been a really nice game for the Patriots to have go the other way. The Dolphins are now 4-2. The Patriots lose tonight. They're definitely below the Dolphins in the AFC East. And even if they win, they're still tied with them record-wise. They have the tiebreaker. But this is one of those games that really, really hurts because you want to see the Dolphins lose that one. On the plus side, the Bears played a full extra quarter of football, and they play the Bears next week. So it's another more banged-up team. So I guess we have that going for us.
That's true. You know, that's the silver lining right there. But as you said, it would have been nice for the Patriots to at least know that whatever happens this week, they would still be atop the division because, as Bill Belichick always says, winning the division comes first. It's the most important thing. And now Patriots have a really tough game on their hands. They need to win in order to keep pace with the Miami Dolphins. One game that did go the Patriots' favor within the AFC East is the all-reliable Buffalo Bills. You told me that you watched this game. I read this amazing quote from Nathan Peterman, who had to come into the game late. I'm gonna say this. Texans won 2013, by the way. But the game was tied 13-13 very, very late. And Nathan Peterman, backup quarterback for the Bills, had to go into the game. And he told the coaching staff, "I got this." Alec, what did Nathan Peterman do for the rest of the game?
I'm not sure how many passes came before the pick six to seal it, but it wasn't that many. And then he threw another pick to more or less end any chance they had of a comeback. Peterman gonna Peterman. That's just the way he is. The Bills signed Derek Anderson this past week as their third stringer. I would imagine Anderson's now the backup, and as Peterman is not a viable NFL quarterback. He's just not meant for this league based on what we've seen the past couple seasons. I wish him well, but we may have seen the last of good old Natty P.
Oh my gosh, I'm like shocked. I feel like Nathan Peterman has to have the highest interception rate in NFL history. That has to happen. 2 interceptions in, what was it, 12 passes? That reduces his interception rate, by the way. That's unbelievable. So the Bills lost. They're now 2-4. Their season should be over if it ever actually began. I know that they're coming off their high of finally reaching the postseason last year after getting a drought since 1999. It looks like they're going to go through another drought for the next 20 years as well. There were some other games around the AFC that I want to talk about. Big one was the Steelers and the Bengals. That was just a frustrating way for the game to end. I don't know if you caught that at all, but for anyone who didn't see it, the Bengals were up 21-20, and there was just like a couple minutes left. The Bengals had the Steelers on 3rd and 10 with like a minute to go. There was a defensive holding call that gave the Steelers an automatic first down, and then the 2 plays later, they went like 55 yards on 2 passes. They got the game-winning touchdown. Unbelievable. Another game just like the Dolphins where the Steelers were up against the ropes and they had all the breaks go their way and they pulled out a victory. It would have been so lovely to see the Steelers fall to 2-3-1 as opposed to now moving to 3-2-1.
Yeah, you've got to wonder how many games can the Steelers win like this? I feel like they have the most I don't want to take away the ability of Big Ben and the offense to do this in clutch moments, but they're in so many games over the past 2 to 3 seasons that come down to the wire and the Steelers just make a play. You figure just with the ball bouncing and football being football, they'd come up on short on a couple of these plays and they just keep winning these crazy games. Ultimately, it might work out for the Patriots well because the Bengals would have been, I think, 5-1 if that was a different result. So you want to go for that 1 seed, but you want to see the Steelers lose because the Bengals I'm not worried about in the postseason. The Steelers are a harder team to beat, and they're playing the Steelers later on in the year. So, yeah, that one sucks too. That one with the Miami game kind of happening at the exact same time, a real double whammy.
Yeah. Those are most of the games that took place for the Patriots in the early games. 2 more big ones that really, actually 3 ones. All the 4:00 games were pretty important for the Patriots. You had the Rams managed to stay undefeated, beat the Broncos 23-20. You had the Ravens blanked the Tennessee Titans 21-0. And then a big game that should really help the Patriots out. Dallas Cowboys came out of nowhere and absolutely walloped the Jacksonville Jaguars 40-7, moving down to 3-3. That was a big thing for the Patriots because Jaguars have that head-to-head tiebreaker, and it's always good to see the Jaguars move down in the power rankings.
No, it is. It makes you wonder. It's one of those situations where the Jacksonville Jaguars got all amped up for the Patriots game in September, beat the Patriots, and then kind of just sat back on their laurels for a while, and they're still paying for it because the team that I've seen the past couple of weeks in Jacksonville is nothing like the team that beat the Patriots up. Granted, the Pats aren't the same team as they were either, but it's really weird to see the juxtaposition of the Jaguars that beat the Patriots week 2 and the Jaguars that got demolished by the Cowboys just now. So it's very weird. Another weird season. It rolls on, Rich.
Yeah, and the Jaguars are 1-3 over their past 4 games with losses to the Titans, Chiefs, and now the Cowboys. Their one victory coming against the Jets, who are also just up and down. And I think the big thing that we can take away from this week of games is that there's one team that is just a world beater in the Los Angeles Rams. We could potentially include the Chiefs there this Sunday night game withstanding. Then you have a whole host of teams. I would say 25 teams that are all, with between 2 and 4 wins. They're all pretty solid. They all still have a chance. There's sometimes this early in the year where you're like, Browns are 0-6. They're done for the year. There are so many teams that are still within contention that look like they could win on any given Sunday. And then there's that final tier, maybe 5 teams that just have no prayer, that come out on every single week and they just look atrocious. You got the 49ers, you got to feel bad for them because they lost Jimmy G. But then you add in the Giants, throw in the Bills, the Colts, the Cardinals, the Raiders. They're just so bad that they're giving every other team that has the fortune to play them this year a chance to reach the postseason.
No, they do. And I think it's going to be a very interesting week 14 through 17 in the NFL, because this might be a situation where there's maybe 4 or 5 teams eliminated early, but everyone else is an absolute mad race for those last couple of spots, which makes, as you said earlier, locking that division up very important and having important tiebreakers, which is going to make this game against the Chiefs that much more important, because the Patriots have the tiebreaker. They've lost to the Jaguars already. If they have a tiebreaker loss to the Chiefs as well, that could make it very hard for them to secure home field advantage should it come to that. Obviously, I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but this is as I said against Miami a couple weeks ago, this is as close to a must-win Week 6 game as it gets.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot to break down. So let's jump right into it. Patriots inactives this week. Compared to the Chiefs, New England's much healthier right now. They're missing a big starter in Malcolm Brown, but based off of how Malcolm Brown's been playing this year, Lawrence Guy's been the best and most consistent defensive tackle. And you have Danny Shelton, who should be able to play well. And then you got some Adam Butler in the depth, which I'm a little concerned about. But that's definitely something to monitor as the Patriots run defense up the gut. But everyone else is really a depth player. J.C. Jackson is inactive. Keontae Davis and John Simon and Geno Grissom, those are your 3 pass rushers. They're all inactive. None of them are really playing. That means that Derek Rivers is going to be active, but we already have that depth chart. Trey Flowers, Adrian Claiborne, Dietrich Wise. Derek Rivers is the 4th guy. He'll get maybe 10, 15 snaps. And then you have offensive linemen, Cole Crossan and Ted Karras. They're always inactive, just healthy scratches. They're there for depth. So the Patriots are pretty healthy. You compare it to the Chiefs. They're going to be down Justin Houston, who's one of their top 2 pass rushers, opposite of D Ford. That's a huge loss for them on the edge. Justin Houston always has big games against the Patriots. And then Eric Berry is out. He has had a history of shutting down Rob Gronkowski very consistently. He's one of the best safeties in the game when healthy. He's not playing. And in addition to that, Eric Murray is his backup, and he is out. So that means that whoever is going to be covering Rob Gronkowski is going to be extraordinarily vulnerable on that back end. Chiefs are down, effectively 3 starters as a result of these injuries. Do you have any takeaways from these inactive reports?
I mean, New England's been very lucky the past couple of weeks in the respect that the teams they're going up against have been very banged up. The Colts are getting even worse by the week, it seems. They're just an absolute mess injury-wise. If you remember the first game of the season last year against the Chiefs and how ineffective the Patriots were offensively, it's because of the safeties. The safety play was really, really effective. They're able to bracket Gronkowski out of the backfield. They're able to not let him get a push off the line. And Brady's middle lane was always clogged up. And without those 2 guys tonight, I think that bodes very well for Gronk. It bodes very well for Edelman. I'm very excited to see what Josh Gordon can do as a potential deep threat, taking the ball over the top. Chris Hogan is active, even though he's battling a thigh injury. And they have that 2-headed running back in Sony Michel and James White against a pretty weak Chiefs defense to begin with, minus those injuries. They're giving up almost 6 yards a carry, I believe, 5.8 yards a carry, something like that. Good for last in the NFL. So on paper, this is a very, very big matchup to have guys out for, and the Patriots should be able to exploit that by those long, sustained drives. Keep Patrick Mahomes, who's having an electric season, off the field.
Yeah, absolutely. And we always knew that this game was supposed to be a shootout, right? There was no expectation that this would be a defensive showdown. Chiefs have been one of the worst defenses in the entire league. They allow more first downs than anyone else on first and second down. So while they're good on third down, I mean, they're just giving up first downs every other point of the entire drive. So it really comes down to the offensive matchups. But, that said, because the defensive side of the ball of the Chiefs is the weak point, let's start there. Patriots offense against the Chiefs defense. What's your thought on that? Who's going to have a big day for the Patriots? Who you have to watch out for on the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think this is the day that Sony Michel has I wouldn't call it a breakout game because he's already kind of arrived. I think this is the day where he's the workhorse back. He shows the Patriots and the Patriots fans why they drafted him so early. They lean on Michel really heavily. It's amazing to think about how what we talk about for the Patriots, keep Tom Brady off the field, slow down that potent Patriots offensive attack. You do that against the Chiefs this week. That Chiefs offense is very versatile. They can get you a number of ways. But if you don't want them to get a rhythm and you keep them on the sideline for a long time, that's how you score in this game. I think Sony Michel is the guy to do that. The Chiefs are very vulnerable against the run. I see no reason not to do that. Michel's my X factor today with James White as a wonderful change of pace back, covering onto the backfield on those little out routes and those screens and those wheels. He's going to be very big today. So I think the Patriots running backs get my game ball today after the game's over.
Yeah, that's a good one too. And I mean, you look at this Kansas City Chiefs defense, and if Justin Houston's out, if Eric Berry's out, who are their stars? Who are the key players that they have? Allen Bailey, Chris Jones. Those are two very, very good defensive linemen on the interior. So you should have a pretty big day for Joe Thuney, David Andrews, and Shaq Mason. Spotlight will absolutely be on them. My X factor is going to be Trent Brown because he's likely going to have to defend against Dee Ford, who is their only pass rusher now because they don't have any depth without Justin Houston there. They had to sign Nate Orchard off the street, so they don't really have too much because they have this other player, number 92. I cannot pronounce his name, and I don't want to butcher it out of apologies, but he's also inactive. And so they don't have much depth on the pass rush. At linebacker, you got Reggie Ragland, who's fine, but he's not a coverage guy. He's a run thumper up the middle. And then without Eric Berry, this whole secondary is not great. So if I'm the Patriots, I get the ball out quickly to make sure that Dee Ford, Allen Bailey, and Chris Jones can't get home to Tom Brady. And that means that there potentially won't be a deep ball game for the Patriots, as based off of what you said, Patriots are going to try and get the ball into the hands of Sony Michel or James White in space as quickly as possible. Should be a big game for Julian Edelman in his second game back because he will likely be matched up against Kendall Fuller in the slot, who is the Chiefs' best cornerback. But that should open up everything else. But as I said originally, Trent Brown needs to have a big game because Dee Ford is one of the players on the Chiefs defense that could have a field day. In the past, Patriots have struggled against these speed rushers when they had Nate Solder on the edge. So hopefully they can do better against Dee Ford, and Trent Brown will be a big factor in that.
So, Rich, if you're Bob Sutton, the defensive coordinator for the Kansas City Chiefs, and you're coming up against this offense that has Julian Edelman back, that has Gronkowski, James White's playing at an all-world level, and Sony Michel's always a threat to break one. Cordell Patterson's getting into the offense on the gimmicky plays. You have Philip Dorsett playing well, and Josh Gordon's slowly acclimating onto the playbook. How are you stopping this Patriots offense? What are you focusing on, and what are you giving up?
Yeah, that's a good question. If I'm Bob Sutton, he has had plenty of success against Tom Brady. He comes from the Rex Ryan tree. He really knows how to clog up space, make Tom Brady think twice before throwing it, make some double clutch, and that allows the pass rush to get home. And so if I'm Josh McDaniels and I'm the Patriots, I know that that's coming, and I'm going to try and simplify it by getting it to James White out in the flat, to get it to Sony Michel, try to make sure that you get the ball to the receivers as quickly as possible. So if I'm Bob Sutton, I'm going to step back a little bit, do what he always does, just expect or hope that you can use your three defensive linemen, Allen Bailey, Chris Jones, Dee Ford. See if those three guys are able to generate pressure. Drop the 8 other players back. You can have Reggie Ragland in the middle of the field. You can have Anthony Hitchens in the middle of the field. Everyone else just drop back, make sure that Tom Brady isn't able to find any open receiver in the first couple of seconds, and hope that your pass rush gets home. That has worked in the past. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that again.
Do you see any one Patriot receiver, not including Gronkowski, having a big day today, and why?
Yeah, that's so there are a few. I would expect that Josh Gordon should have more of an opportunity in the Patriots offense because he has now a few weeks in the system. Chris Hogan is dealing with that injury. So even though Hogan is active, perhaps he'll only be a depth option. I believe that the door is open for Josh Gordon to have more snaps on the outside, with Julian Edelman on the inside, Gronkowski. And if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs and I know that Eric Berry's not out there, Eric Murray isn't out there, who's going to be covering Rob Gronkowski. You're going to have to dedicate more of your defensive resources to stopping him, or else you're going to let him run wild. And that means that some of the Patriots wide receivers on the outside are going to have more favorable matchups. And so Josh Gordon, in my head, I would not be shocked if he finished the game with over 80 yards and a touchdown.
I like that. And he may not go deep. I agree with that. He has that deep threat ability, but I'm not sure this is the game to really test that, just based on the speed up front the Chiefs have and the ability to get to Brady quickly and not let plays develop. On the other side of the ball, though, I think the deep threat, one of the better deep threats in the entire league, Tyreek Hill, is definitely active tonight. They use him all over the field. He's lining up in the backfield, returning kicks, returning punts, going wide. They've got Kareem Hunt, who's a dangerous threat to run and catch the ball. Mahomes is a mobile quarterback. He makes magic with his plays, scrambling around. The Patriots did a really good job containing Andrew Luck last week, keeping him in the pocket. In exchange, they gave him a lot of time to throw, and were it not for a couple of pretty key Colts drops, maybe a little different scenario we're coming into this week. The Chiefs receivers do not drop the ball. So what do you do if you're Brian Flores going up against the most potent offense in the AFC right now? And how do you slow down this Patrick Mahomes-led offense?
Yeah, so when I look at this Chiefs offense, I say that there are four main pieces that you have to watch out for. You got Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, Travis Kelce, and Sammy Watkins. All of them have over 300 yards from scrimmage, with Hill, Hunt, and Kelce having over 400. They are the entire engine, though, because no other player has more than 100 yards this year. So keep that in mind. There are four players that you need to focus on. And if I'm Brian Flores, I kind of rely on what you've done in the past with some success and say, Patrick Chung, you have more success against tight ends than Devin McCourty ever has. I'm going to put Patrick Chung on Travis Kelce. He's locked him down in the past. I hope that he can do it again. Maybe use a linebacker in the middle of the field as a bracket to give Patrick Chung a little more breathing room. With Tyreek Hill, he is an enormous threat as well, and you got to double cover him. I would not put Stephon Gilmore against him. I would say, you know what, Jonathan Jones, this is your opportunity. Cover Tyreek Hill with Devin McCourty over the top as the deep safety. Devin McCourty needs to move back to free safety as opposed to strong safety, where he's really been struggling this season. So putting Devin McCourty back over the top should give the Patriots a little bit more ability to prevent Tyreek Hill from hitting the home run. Jonathan Jones has the quickness to keep up with Hill in the open field, so I like that matchup as well. And that allows Jason McCourty to come in against Chris Conley when they have those opportunities. I would say that Stephon Gilmore gets to cover Sammy Watkins, his former Buffalo Bills teammate. He knows him better than anyone else in the Patriots, just because they have that experience. He should know his tendencies. It should be a great matchup. That's how I would line them all up. And then you have Kareem Hunt. And so if I'm New England, I dedicate a spy on him as anytime he tries to get out, but I also want to make sure that he doesn't get anything going while running the ball. And so that's where the loss of Malcolm Brown should be a big eye to watch, because as of right now, Kareem Hunt hasn't been a huge target out of the backfield compared to what he was doing last year. He only has 9 targets this entire year. He can take any of them to the house. He's a huge threat. But if I'm Brian Flores, I say we need to make sure that everything gets contained in the middle of the field, make sure that Patrick Mahomes isn't able to escape out of the pocket. So you have Trey Flowers, Dietrich Wise pinching on the edges, Danny Shelton making sure nothing happens up the middle, and Lawrence Guy trying to generate a little bit of pressure with someone like a Kyle Van Noy potentially making sure that Hunt doesn't get a free release out of the backfield.
Do you think it's fair to maybe label Hunt as the guy the Patriots focus in on most to shut down that number one weapon they always tend to take away? If they can't get the running game going, become more one-dimensional offensively, it's easier to zero in on the receivers and make sure they're not able to break the game open?
Yeah, absolutely. And you always want to figure out how you can stop the run, make them one-dimensional, because even though they are so explosive as wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelce, all of them can hit home runs at any given point in time. But if you can stop the run, force them into long situations on third down, that's how you get punts. That's how you get off the field. Whereas if Kareem Hunt's out there getting 5 yards per carry, you're not getting off the field anyways. So if I'm Brian Flores, if I'm Bill Belichick, try and stop the run, try and get a few punts, and hopefully your offense is able to take advantage of the opportunities that they have so they can build a few leads. And then at the end of the day, Chiefs won't be running the ball, not because they can't, but because they just are trailing by too much in order to waste that clock.
It's also important to keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. Some of the plays he's able to make, extending the play of using his legs, is really impressive. It's a lot of fun to watch. Objectively, as a football fan, it's really enjoyable to see him do what he does. However, if he has a lot of time back there and if he can scramble around, you can't cover Tyreek Hill. You just can't do it for long enough. So Trey Flowers is my X factor today, not necessarily as a pass rusher, but as an edge contained kind of guy, not let any plays get outside of him, not let any plays get behind him, and make sure that he keeps the pocket nice and dirty and doesn't let Mahomes step up in it, because otherwise it could be a very long day for that secondary.
I like that. I'm going on the other end of the defense. I'm going to Devin McCourty as my X factor, coming off an extraordinarily rough game against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm sure he's doing some soul searching, and based off of his history with the Patriots on defense, he always comes back better than ever. I hope that the Patriots put him in a better position to succeed, but whatever his role is going to be, whether it's against Travis Kelce, whether it's defending Tyreek Hill, he will be involved at the center of stopping this Chiefs offense. So Devin McCourty is my X factor. If he has a repeat performance of what he did against the Colts, then the Chiefs might be able to win this one walking away. That could be a tough one for the Patriots.
No, it could. The stat that scares me the most right now is the fact that the Patriots in the Tom Brady era since 2001 are 23-0 at home when facing QBs under 25. That's one of those stats that just flashes up and you're like, oh, well, there goes that one tonight. I think if this stat's going to go down, this is a good night to do it, because the Chiefs are, again, the Chiefs and Rams are, as you mentioned earlier in the show, right there 1-1. They're the best team in the AFC until proven otherwise. And the weapons the Chiefs have, I think, match up really well in a bad way against the Patriots. I think they can exploit the Patriots where they're weak. And if they get confidence, get momentum, the Chiefs play the Patriots very tough. They have historically the past couple of seasons. And it's one of those things I think the Patriots can go out and they can assert their authority early. Tom Brady can show the world there's no reason to talk about the young buck just yet, because Tom Brady is still king of the NFL. That's the kind of thing that really motivates him. That should be okay. But this is going to be a really tough game. And I know we're getting a prediction soon, and I still, as of this conversation, am not sure which way I'm going.
Well, then who gets to go first? So let's go right into the predictions. Who won last week when they predicted the Colts?
I had the Colts winning Patriots 31-20, and you had the Patriots 35-14. I think it was 38-24 was the final score.
It was up there.
So I guess I'll give it to you because I'm nice like that. So you're up, buddy. Go ahead.
We're calling it a comeback. I know you're buying time right now. This is something that the Patriots could win. I hope to be eating my words at the end of this, but there always seems to be a game throughout the Patriots seasons when they're competing for Super Bowls where they lose to a really good team, but the takeaway is positive in the sense that they lost, but they can do it. You know, I believe they've lost to the Packers. They lost to the Seahawks. These are games where they're hard fought to the end. Patriots don't give up. And even though they've lost, the team moves forward knowing, you know what, we can do this. We can contend. I expect this to be one of those games. Patriots, as you say, they have that streak of success against young quarterbacks at home. They had never lost to the Jaguars before in the Tom Brady era, or I guess Tom Brady himself hadn't been the quarterback when they lost to the Jaguars. That ended this year. I just see that a few of these streaks going down. I expect the Patriots to come close, but ultimately fall short. There's just so much firepower on this Chiefs offense. Patriots, they're coming off of a few. It's good to have back-to-back wins, but I don't know if they're fully ready. They are short on their run defense, and if Kareem Hunt's able to get going, it could be a long day. And I'm always just afraid of what Andy Reid's offense is capable of doing to the Patriots. It shouldn't be a blowout by any means, but I have the final score being Chiefs 31, Patriots 30.
Wow, at the wire, Chiefs pulling it out, Rich. I'd have to go back and check the stats, but I don't think you and I have ever both picked against the Patriots at any point in time throughout the history of our doing this. So I will keep that streak alive and go with the Patriots to win this game. Should be a high-scoring game. Makes it easy next week. One of us is going to be right? Makes no reason to parse the score out. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I don't think either defense will be able to stop either offense, and it might be the kind of thing where there's a couple of plays go one way or the other. I think Tom Brady has a pretty bad luck with a couple of picks he's thrown the past couple of weeks. They really weren't his fault. I think it's time for those bounces to start going the Patriots' way again. The momentum of fate has shifted and swung back over to the Patriots' side. So I'm going to go to the Patriots, maybe like 38-35 on this one, with like maybe a late KC drive comes up short.
Awesome. I hope you are right. I hope the Patriots win this. They move to 4-2, stay atop the AFC East. Again, have that tiebreaker against the Chiefs would be huge because there is always that second half swoon by Kansas City, and that would be nice to have the tiebreaker in hand. Hopefully we're right. We'll have our podcast tomorrow night that we are recording, Pat's Pulpit podcast. We'll have game breakdown on patspulpit.com. Anything and everything you need to know about the New England Patriots. Alec, do you have any final thoughts before kickoff in 10 minutes?
Nope. Go Pats. Go Sox.
Awesome. Yeah. Have a great time watching it. And everyone else, until next time, you have a good one.